Second on that,
Second.
any other discussion?
That's all I got, we're gonna have to redo that. It's,
Oh,
YouTube's talking.
I'm gonna say you can't get another computer, guys.
Probably supposed to be in our box.
Okay,
Are we
I'm
live?
gonna,
We're live in recording?
get a motion. It didn't get recorded, Dar.
The motion is that we go with Northeast Environmental for the 6 properties as we requested on our request for quote, based on evaluation of detailed information that was discussed at the executive session.
We have a second,
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're at Friendship Historical District.
Okay, the big property in Friendship, 46 Main Street. It's part of a qualified historical district, but it's not being designated. What makes this project feasible is that because it has the commercial units in it, that we can go to a commercial tax credit, which is 50% of whatever we spend. So say we spend $1 million on this house, it would result in a $500,000 tax credit, which makes the project feasible. From a financial standpoint, we're also doing a feasibility study for actual structural. The problem is that to do the building by itself, it's a longer process and you have to, and it pays attention to the interior design of making it back historical, which we don't have records of. But if we do it as part of as a neighborhood, then make a historical district in the neighborhood, that would allow for easier application for the tax credit. So Clinton Brown had sent out a quote to do the preliminary findings on the Friendship Historical District. They sent that with you can see there's open spaces in the form to put a sponsor. So they want us to find a sponsor, maybe the town or some other group that would want to sponsor the historical district to move this along. The price is $24,000. We can look around, or we could be the sponsor ourselves. Like I said, this is gonna be the difference in getting half of the rehab money, possibly half of the rehab money back in historical tax credit.
Can this wait till after phase 1?
It certainly can, yeah. But we could draw up some questions. The questions I had was, who should I approach to see if they want to sponsor it?
Should be Friendship,
Friendship?
be my opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
you got all the other buildings that are involved, and we certainly don't want to be administrative involved in, like across the street where they're doing rehab already on the other store. That would be my opinion.
Now, when you say historical tax credit, we would never get any money back from it.
no, but it makes
Give the buyer.
yeah, so we would pass it along to the next buyer, which would make to entice somebody as a carrot for someone to get in there and develop. Who's gonna wanna put their own 500,000 in when they get a tax credit? Now they can actually get a building worth about what it is with that tax credit instead of trying to recoup. But it also we can get money back by increasing the sale price, whereas if we know what the building's gonna be worth at the end, and say it's gonna be worth $750,000, and we put $1 million into it, we would have lost $250. Well, now because of that tax credit, we could go up 100,000 and get some of that back because we know what they're gonna be having to spend. Same with 31 Grover, why we're doing that. So what other questions? I can go back to them. The question I had for them was, will this result in a historical designation? If this $24,000 quote will not result in a historical designation, but it will be the needed, it's the preliminary need to go in and say that to pick out which buildings are eligible in that district, which ours will certainly be.
So that's what the 24,000.
That's just to designate what houses can be in the.
And then somebody else has to do the paperwork and
And then the next step depends on how many properties that qualify.
right, well, because what if it's 2 properties, but somebody's now got to be the lead agency on getting the designation? This is just to determine what properties are eligible.
Yes, to carve out the district. And point to the
You
property.
could say, yeah, cause Wellsville did 2 districts.
Yeah, no, do you know who did that? Cause I would like to reach out to them and see how they, where they think the next. Do you remember what the agency was that?
Wasn't it Clinton Brown?
Well, yeah, the village board. Village board,
They sponsored it,
yeah,
but who was the company? There was a company that actually did the designation.
They did,
it's Brown. It's-
I thought it was Clinton Brown did it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Clinton Brown.
That'd be a good question for them.
some conference that I was using that.
Just ask them.
I thought in his presentation, they just did,
He said he's done work down.
yeah, I
He's
think,
done properties, I don't think he did the actual designation of the
Alright.
district, he did properties within it, I believe. And he helped the application, I believe, but Kate was just saying that she went to something where the historical preservation league of Rochester or something like that. So I'll look at who's involved in that, and we'll come up with more for the next meeting. And talk to the town and see if we can kind of have a better
I
understanding.
wouldn't waste a lot of energy on this until we get that phase 1 done. I know you confident that we're gonna be able to move forward, but.
The Landmark Society. of West
Landmark
Virginia.
Society, that's right.
So, yeah, you can start asking questions, I guess, but. And maybe try to get a lead agency in Friendship, the
Yeah.
village board or.
Never village anymore.
What town, I would say or town, I couldn't remember which it was, I didn't think.
It used to be,
Yeah, I knew they. So. All right, real estate agent compensation reimbursement.
So our real estate agents, spent a little money out of, to assist the occupants of 32 Chestnut to, vacate the premises. And she's really had to deal with a whole bunch of problems and, drama with both occupants of both houses we're selling. I spoke with Brian and, offline and he supports, you can speak, I'm speaking for Brian sitting right here, but he supports being able to pay her back this. And also, giving her $100 per property extra, because she's working on a flat rate. And the house, even if she's working on a percentage, it was low, because we sold this house for so cheap. So the proposal is to pay her back for that check that's on there, plus $100 per property.
Which is, what was our original, 3,000? For commission,
I can't remember if it was 3,000 total or 3,000 per, but I think it was 1,500 per off the top of my head, I don't have it in front of me.
Are the tenants out of both of them now?
Today is the deadline to get out of 32 Chestnut, and I'm not sure about the others. Today is their deadline, and the buyer has contacted me over the weekend saying that as soon as they leave, that they're gonna go in and change the locks, and if we're okay with that, and I spoke for you guys and said, yes, go do that. Because I didn't think I would have a problem with it, and I didn't want to have to wait and then not leave.
so she did the background check on the 4 tech squatters, right?
Yes,
Or the tenants, excuse me,
tenants, occupants, not tenants.
occupants.
Yeah,
so we're asking for a motion to pay her $168, is that what we're saying?
or what's the check on there? So.
The 68,
68.
we don't have an invoice yet for it.
No, we haven't invited, I'm saying at 68 plus 100 per box, so 268.
Say that again?
268. 68 for that check, she wrote the reimburser, which we definitely
Right.
do, and then 100 per property.
Oh, for each property?
Yeah,
On top of the commission that will come
yeah, and I
later,
think she
right?
deserves, I think
It's
she
time to
deserves it,
sale.
because the thing, what she's had to go through for these is
So,
pretty.
so this is just to compensate her, force the people out.
Right,
Yeah,
So then when they're sold, she'll get her normal sales commission.
right.
Gotcha.
That's when we.
I'll make a motion, and we pay her $268 for effort put forth.
You,
and the
okay, you
reimbursement,
got a motion and do I have a second? We got some discussion.
Second.
Okay. Dave,
Wouldn't it be better to pay her the $100 when you pay her
that's what I was
for
thinking too.
commission?
Say that again?
Wouldn't it be better to pay the $100 per property when we pay her commission down the road?
so could the motion be to add what we just said to her commission when we pay it?
Yeah, I like that better.
Because then we have an invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I was thinking that's what we were gonna do originally.
So the motion should say that we would pay her $268 at the time of commission,
Over and above.
over and above the commission.
Yeah, and then I don't think we need to pay her 68 now. I don't think she's leaving the sleep over.
No, and that's it for discussion, that 68 that she spent in reimbursement was because the tenants of 32 Chestnut. Had to pay to get this assistance to get into a new apartment, and they were short $68, and there was gonna be a deal breaker, so she came out for it.
Yeah.
They tripled.
So I always get confused on this part. So do we gotta vote on the original?
No, you have to vote on the amendment. Which it was.
I did an amendment to the original.
Oh. Vote on the amendment.
$100 extra on each, cause they're gonna sell at the same time.
For each property. At the time, plus $68 for effort at the time of sale of each property. In addition to her normal commission.
Okay,
Second. There wasn't one.
okay, no, you have a second? All in favor?
Yep,
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now,
I have to vote on the motion as amended.
okay. Now, do I need a motion or just a vote?
No, you call for vote.
Okay, vote to, approve the motion as amended. I always get confused on this part.
Motion.
Opposed? Did you vote yes or no?
yes,
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next, O'Connor Street side lot purchase offer.
The neighbor has offered to buy the property, it's in your packet.
I have something for new business, and this would be a good time to bring it up. So I was speaking with a legislator from Steuben County, and they have their land bank. And he likes the work they're doing, but he has one big issue with these empty lot sales. And they had a situation over there where they sold a vacant lot that they had torn down the house, and the neighbor bought it for a couple grand, turned around, sold it for 20,000. They turned it into a shed lot for selling sheds. It was in a commercial area. His suggestion, and he's fighting for it to happen over there, is when we sell a lot to the neighbor, that it has to be combined into one title.
Yeah, we always try to do that. This one is this one's non-contiguous, so this is this guy across the street who wants to have a garden across the street, so this wouldn't really work with that one, but with this one, but we can put,
Not true.
we could put a caveat in the deed. You're right, you're right. You could go across- Yeah, you're right, you could go across the street. Yeah, you could do that, but we could also put a caveat in the deed, a covenant in the deed that he can't sell it for 5 years or whatever. We could do, there's all kinds of things.
or it has to be sold as a residential, if it's in a residential area.
Yes, we can put any language we want and do that.
So we want to do this as, for each individual thing, or do we want a policy that,
I think we should go case by case, just because
Okay.
they're always so much
all right,
different.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good point, because, you know, it stinks somebody triples or quadruples what they paid for it, plus the, you know, I think it might be Amish,
Yeah,
you know, in a residential area that's zoned commercial, you know,
oh, it was zoned commercial?
yeah.
So. See,
That's why-
That's a different
Right,
thing
so-
altogether, so yeah.
There is when you want for sure to make sure that the two titles are put into the together, so they can't sell it. So just something that was brought to my attention.
Good point.
Yeah, so if you look in this application, the plan is just they want to, the previous house, the guy had a really nice garden, he got some fruit trees back there. And he wants to preserve that, make the garden, he wants to help out the other neighbor who's actually next door when he has the money, help him. Remember I talked about it before, the guy wanted to do an addition? Well, the guy couldn't come up with the money, it's a single dad or whatever, so he couldn't come up with the money for that, so this guy wants to make sure that he's preserving it so someone doesn't come in. So he's gonna garden on it and keep, maintain it, mow it, and hopefully someday can combine it with the other lot next door. But that's, you know, that's just it's a plan.
I mean, it sounds like doing it per diem each lot is the best idea, I just thought that was a
Yeah.
good thing to bring up, so.
So we wanna put anything on this one?
Well, and are we happy with $1,000 for a lot?
We haven't been,
Why I brought it up.
where's his?
$1,000, page.
Oh, there it is. Okay, what did we get for Spring Street?
Three,
What did we
three or
get,
four, I'm sorry, four,
what did we get for Friendship?
5. That was huge. For 5, that was a discount. We had a barn.
And I know we talked about. The assessed value of that property, those properties when we made the decision.
I know,
I think $1,000 for a house lot in Wells is too low.
Yeah,
but so a counter, let's make a counter back to him.
we could, in the counter, we got 5 and 4, this is a smaller lot. Of course, Spring Street wasn't very big, it was deep, I guess.
Yeah.
This is similar to that, it's
Maybe,
narrow.
I would say based on previous lot sales to neighbors. $3,500 is, you know, this is smaller than the other two. And it's not adjacent to him. That's just, I'm just throwing out that for discussion.
Trying to think of what to. I don't know what to.
Want me to look at the assessment real quick?
Sure. I was gonna say, yeah, that, the new assessment that just went through Wellsville, I haven't paid attention to what the land property reassessment values are on them.
And this one might still be assessed as it has a prop, but it'll have the land.
It's at 0.28 acres.
I'm sorry? How big is this?
0.28.
0.28, quarter acre.
So the full market, yeah, so it still has their house on it in the assessment, but the land assessment is 10,000. In the total assessment was 40, but there's no house there anymore. So does it have the same land assessment without a house on it? Maybe, but it's, the land is assessed at 10,000, I think that's high, but. Because it's not very buildable, but it does have services, it did have services to it at one point.
Does have, if it did, it does.
Yeah.
It was just water and sewer.
That would be municipal, right? Water and
Yeah,
sewer.
it does have both.
The one we did, we did another lot. Did it have water and sewer?
No, we had,
Spring,
oh, yes.
Spring Street would have been.
But that was smaller and it had water, but it did have water and sewer. But that's not being used as a building lot, but yeah, that's one we sold for 4.
And I think we ought to be consistent then, basically.
That's what I was thinking.
Great.
If we've got a property that's kind of plus or minus on the size, if it's got water and sewer, that's.
Well, that, Spring Street did have an outbuilding.
Yeah,
And so did Friendship.
I would personally would say go back at them with $4,000 and then if they come back at somewhere close. We could make that.
Do we need a motion for that?
mhm.
Okay, that Ed made a motion to counter with $4,000.
With a 5-year. No resale stipulation.
No second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion carried, newsletter, intern historic windows, that's a lot in one.
It's because it's all BOCES. So that's all BOCES. Kate and I met with, same person who made that purchase offer on the last house. I didn't want to bring it up to, sway any decision making, but it has to come up. He teaches the audio visual class or media class at BOCES, and they're working on a newsletter for us. You think you bring it up on there, just so I can see it? So they're gonna do a newsletter for us quarterly, the students are, and we'll send that out virtually to people, and they're doing a pretty good job. And they also they're gonna try to get an internship project that will keep this going through the summer, and to do any other type of land bank office stuff, like we've talked about in the past, about like tax sale information and tracking properties. So this is our first draft on, and this would go out, like I said, via email to whoever we put on a mailing list. And then they would keep this up even in the summer using an intern. That's what the intern portion is, but the intern could also do other things for us if need be. I think it was pretty sharp.
You think you need a monthly one? I mean, quarterly being a?
That's what I said, quarterly.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll do-
They really wouldn't have to do one with an intern, would they?
well, cause they
May
want,
and September,
yeah, it might wait up, but they wanna, it'd be good to have, cause they can do other
I
stuff.
guess,
too.
if you
Yeah.
break that quarter.
So yeah, social media, because they're gonna also,
Oh,
they're also gonna build out our social media for us, we have a social media presence out there. They can't really do like website stuff that's gonna go in the public domain, but they can do the back of the house type of stuff that we end up publishing ourselves, they won't publish for us. So we just wanted to show you that we're moving along on that, and the historical windows. So we have the windows at 31 Grover that have to be restored. And we're gonna try to get the class there to do it, but there's a guy named Steve Jordan out of Rochester, Clinton Brown recommended to us. Will come down here, for a price and do a class, either a half day, a full day, or a 2-day class at BOCES, which would show the students how to restore historical windows, which would be a huge cost saving to us. And give them the experience, and we could also possibly open it up to the public and people in the district that also want to do their own historic restoration. And learn those practices and safety measures and all that. So, I haven't got a quote yet back from that guy, so I'll know more next month.
That'd be good,
Is that something that we're interested to move on?
sure.
I think that'd be a good idea. If it would probably save time, if we could. Just talk about how to pay, if we need a motion, it's not gonna be enough where, Brian, you couldn't just okay it.
It's $600,999.
Or we check the procurement policy, and I think that even if it's over that, you can get 2 signatures, you and Dara, or, you know, so we can go, we don't really need, we'll just follow the procurement policy, but I'm gonna move forward and get the quotes from that guy, and he'll come down and do that class. I think it's a good idea, and it'll help us save on the windows. And also, if we could also have him come back down, if we have other stuff for restoration, have him come back down and teach the NCCC team, and they could do it in that garage at Riverside if they were too, so he's a good resource to have.
Yeah,
That would be really good for the entrance team.
yeah,
All right, so I'll move.
and they go home with a skill that there's not too many people that can
Very
do it.
fine.
Yeah, we'll end up making more money here than we did.
Elm Valley,
So this was in the paper, a man's house burnt down and the community came together and did a GoFundMe, and they had like 15,000 to try to build this guy a mini home. Accord reached out to me, they're taking the lead on like the planning and the different coordination of it. And they wanted to know what we could possibly do,
gee, we offered them $100,000 they could have had to use.
so they're not putting any skin in the game, but there's but I told them that we would more likely have to come in on the back end when there's a plan. And my biggest concern is, I hate to be like a negative person, but this person's 82 years old. So when the house is built for them and he passes away, who's getting the house? Who are we building the house for?
Right.
That's my concern. So, and I said, maybe we could come at the end for septic or water.
I'm not sure I'm keen on donations either.
Yeah, and
I
that
was
was
gonna
this
say, that's
organization,
gonna open up.
and boy, is the hands gonna come out once you do one. Yeah, I don't think it's.
But if
something-
this ends up, but I've said this, so if he's not the owner, say. Another nonprofit ends up taking it over, we're more likely to help them. I said,
Yeah, something like that, possibly.
Okay, so. More.
I
on
mean,
that.
if it is creating housing, I mean,
Yeah,
it's in our mission.
well, we need to,
Tiny home could be set up to be removed too, can
yeah, it
So
can,
theoretically, you could help with those sewer and water, if they, or build a tiny home, then remove it, and sewer water stays there, and you can build another home.
Yeah, that's why I did exactly, that's why I said, like, I'd rather be involved in something that's permanent, like the sewer water than the housing. It's more attached to the site.
We'll deal with it when the time comes.
Yeah, and then the next one's 38 King Street. Do you guys remember that beautiful one that we tore down on 37 King Street? With the lady, the one eccentric lady, I put it that way, that was there.
The tree.
Yeah, you remember, right? Remember 37 King Street where the lady owned, she lived in this one, it was.
Oh, on the backside, yeah.
And then she had the,
And the lot's too small to build on.
and we tore down that one and we sold the lot. Well, the lady owns one across the street. She's in
Right.
assisted care now. And the house is going to shambles, so it's already was. So the code officer reached out and said, hey, if we can get site control over this, would you be interested in helping out? So it's very preliminary.
We could get what?
But if it ends up coming to this, if it comes up on taxes or somehow they can condemn it, they might have to condemn it, because I think they're due.
So it'd be like 63 Chestnut.
It's like Seneca, yeah, 60% Seneca. It'd be like that, except this has a little more difficulty because it's, she's in assisted care and the taxes are being paid by a trust, because I think that her family had money and they're taking care of her. So I believe the trust will keep paying the taxes. So if it doesn't go by taxes, then it's a hairy situation. So I just wanted to put it in front of them. We'll probably talk about it.
And want to know more about who's administering the trucks and what
Yeah.
responsibility they have.
Yeah, but it's really bad. I remember it's always been.
Yeah, I mean, it was junk to start with.
Yeah.
Cause I remember thinking to myself, I wonder why,
How people live there, yeah.
how somebody's living there, yeah. A little bit like, East State Street, a lady living in the cellar.
Oh, that would have been too. That's one with 5 dead dogs.
All right, committee reports,
So we're just looking
all
for
approved,
the committee chairman here to send up the annual report as approved by the committee.
I make a motion to the general body to approve the report of the governance committee as discussed in this earlier.
Annual report, in the annual report.
In the annual report.
have a motion to approve the report from the governance committee.
Second.
I need a motion. Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were presenting it.
We can actually, I'm sorry, but we already have, we haven't got a second yet, but sorry to interrupt, but we could probably just, we don't even have to have one motion, we could just have each chairman say that they've reviewed it and they offer the annual report to the whole body to approve the whole annual report as one, because then it'll cover everybody right at once.
Okay,
Yes, that's what I said.
Yep, I agree with that.
okay, and, Kier, audit, DAR,
So Dar would have to submit it for.
you're submitting an audit report from the committee,
For finance and audit.
okay?
So then the motion would be for the whole board to approve the annual report as sent up from the committee.
So, second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Correspondences,
Hold on, I missed 2 seconds of that, sorry.
Bob,
No correspondence.
No, I stuck it in at the end.
do we need to go over it?
No, so at the very end, this is just, remember last time we talked about Smart Suite, so this is the report I developed from there cause this meeting, we talk about so much, this will have something for you to take away with the updates on each property.
Okay.
So it wasn't on the agenda.
Do we need, what about
I
the,
gave that to you, it's just, I just need those back. So there's an acknowledgement of fiduciary duties that I handed out earlier that I just need back, prepare stuff.
authority names, just Allegheny County Land Bank?
Correct.
Good thing you drove your truck today, Brian. Who needs to take all the measures?
But you can afford. Okay,
Do I need to
any,
make a motion to
next meeting, we haven't talked about that, the 21st at, 9 AM here. I will not be present, Ed, make sure you're here.
Let's see if I can be.
I want to get back to the really order too, Brian.
Okay, once you do that, we'll have to look at it.
last meeting, or I think it was Kate had mentioned possibly using a different platform for our communication instead of just general emails. I don't know about you guys, but you know, I'm not working at a job where I see my computer every day.
Mhm.
In fact, I didn't even turn it on for 2 months, I think.
Well, you got a whole lot to catch up on.
I got my phone, I got, you know, both on there. I get so many emails. That if I don't check for a day, it gets lost in there and I have to scroll for, seems like forever.
And then they get lost inside of emails and inside. So what did we talk about?
This is important stuff to me to get, I think. If there's a better way, I'm all for it.
What do you remember what we discussed? Oh,
What's gonna have to come through email?
Google Drive or?
Yeah, so here, for last meeting, because there was so much, I mean, there's always so much, I guess, that I'm learning. I had sent everything and just kept adding it to the Google Drive.
Okay. Yeah, we
It
did
was
that.
just, if we just have one link that you're always going to, so you know it's, as we get stuff, we put it there. We'll probably still have to send the email as a notification, but.
But we could also send, we could make it a procedure to whenever it's updated, text phones, do you do text, Dave? When texting your phone, just say, check the drive's been updated, so you get like a notice to your phone, the drive, and you know to go check that link at different times, would that kind
Yeah.
of solve some of the problem?
So when you say Google Drive, tell me what I'm,
Do you have Gmail?
no.
That's gonna be a problem, because I don't either.
Well, we have,
Well, he's got a Yahoo.
have you been able to
Yeah.
access the
Google Drive.
OneDrive, does everybody access?
See, I don't have Google Drive.
I can make it a public link so you don't have to sign.
Okay,
I have a Gmail account through Score. But I hate to keep mixing.
no, but if it was public, it could go on regular
Yeah.
emails that you're using, and what you do is we'll just text you, check that out, and you'd have a link on your, and you just hit a link, and it would bring up everything that. In notes, is that what that,
Yeah, it would be all in a folder for the month.
right, it'd be a monthly folder, and it'd be like there's updates in there.
But if you can figure it out and send me the,
What a new email address.
well,
Blank email, all you get is land bank
I
stuff.
could have considered it.
New land, that's what I did, I just got a land bank own email, and it's way easier. That's it.
I might just drop right out of social media altogether.
Well, run that.
That's what.
That's
Dave,
gotta see it.
Remember, I don't know if you remember at the time, but I used to have, on our land bank website, a thing that said directors portal or board of directors portal, and you could just click on the board of directors portal and then everything would, and we could maybe do it that way. Then you just have to get on our website and then click the enter the, and then you'd also have access to, other things pertinent to the board.
That's how we should.
Yeah, just send a text still that, you know, if you update something.
Right.
My only problem with that
Yeah,
becomes. How do I know what this guy's thinking? When it comes on my email, he replies, so I know where he's coming from.
Mm.
we could have a little forum thing in there for something, maybe, there might be a discussion forum that's.
I just had.
Embedded, yeah, yes.
About it, but my point is,
Cause I quite often have a comment.
well, that's kind of like.
You could just leave it, I think that's where store, not comment as they wish on.
Yeah, let us bounce it around, I think we could come up with something where there's an embedded form in there, so the board of directors goes in there, and then the topic discussion would be there. You guys can chat it out without going back and forth, it'd be right there,
Right, but
and then you don't get lost in
you
it.
gotta be careful not to be. Doing so much on there that it could constitute doing business.
That's true too.
Right. Outside of me.
Is that public?
That's the same with email.
public link or is it just for us?
It would just be a portal button just for you guys, you'd have access to, probably a pin you'd have to put in to get in.
You need,
On our main
That
website.
that keeps it private.
you need
Yeah.
to find out whether it's legal for us to do comments like that.
Yeah, it would be similar to email, cause we.
Well, we're not
Yeah.
supposed to do a lot of what we do on email, quite honestly, but.
Yeah, so we'll try to.
No, that's not what I meant.
I
You just, you, when you're doing this stuff by email, a lot of things you're not supposed to do.
Can we pass around this paper and get everyone's updated phone numbers? That would help too. Just to- You have a piece of blank.
People change phone numbers?
I just don't know if I have everybody's.
Yeah, I know.
It's sent back, that's why I gave it right. He wants.
Texting,
Texting, phone
Yeah,
calls.
do you text?
I can't get text when I'm at
I didn't
home.
call, I didn't think so, but we,
If I get out, but I get outside and I check for them, but if it's urgent.
Well, we just probably double up, send a text in and email everyone saying updates have happened to this thing or something, I don't know, we'll see what we get, we'll see what we can.
I can top it, all right, sit in my living room. And I have Wi-Fi, but I cannot get my EasyNet emails until I shut off the Wi-Fi, and then they'll all come through, and then I turn my Wi-Fi back on. And it happened with Armstrong, when I got Armstrong, and I talked to a bunch of their employees, and they're like, we heard about that, but it's got something in the portals that they don't support. Yeah, and they can't, they said so.
I was talking to my,
I've had my email since 1990. I lived just up around over the hill, and that was the only, that's for that was the only email company that could provide service to there.
I was talking to my brother the other day in Florida, on his cell phone. And his wife has one of these boosters that you can pick up so that they can do email and internet down there. And whatever she was doing, when she did something, it interfered with his cell phone. So his cell phone broke up.
We're just chatting about
Technology.
motion to adjourn.
I move
I
for
did.
adjournment at 11:27.
All right, second, Dar,
Yep.
all in favor? Aye. Opposed,
My part changed for the week. See, next week.
I knew it was not gonna be an early one.
Hey, no, that's not that bad, I thought we were gonna hit new.